In the hum of the studio where the levels run high, there's a voice cutting through like a lightning sky. At Master Media, he's holding the throne. The audio wizard, his name's Jeff Stone. He's taking names while the cameras roll, with a sarcastic grin and a heart of gold. Changing the game one upload at a time, making the hustle like a victimless crime. So come join the flock, don't you stay behind. Leave the boring old world and the daily grind, with a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's the king of the mic, the influencer soul, keeping us steady and taking control. Now Boston Ginger Sharp and Mary B's got the whip. J7 and Hippie Chick are making a hit. Dusty and Jan are the brains of the crew, but there's plenty of room in the rafters for you. Don't let the smart kids have all of the fun. The master revolution has only begun. He'll roast you a little, then lift you back up, pouring pure chaos in a coffee cup. So come join the flock, don't you stay behind. Leave the boring old world and the daily grind, with a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's a king of the mind, the influence of soul, keeping us steady and taking control. It's more than a channel, it's a state of mind, where the jokes are fast and the truth's easy to find. From the audio board to the YouTube screen, the fun is disrupted as you ever Someone's on the edge making the call. Master Media standing 10 feet tall. Stop being a stranger, get in on the play. Jeff Stone's gonna help you survive the day. You come join the fly, come join the fly. Thank you, Hippie Chick, for getting the channel out. Hey, come join the fly, and that's Talk Media. Jeff is ready to ride.
Hello, everybody. I am back. Had to come back on and say thank you. 300 subs. We hit it. All because of you. And we hit the plateau. We're sitting right at 300 subs right now. And Danny called for it this morning when he came on the show. and said if we could get you to 300, it's important, and you all did it. Unbelievable. Started out with that copyright strike. I really don't have anything planned other than say thank you to everybody. But we started out with the copyright strike, like I said in the description. Randall tried to make us weaker, make this channel weaker. And Randall, not today. And I'm a different beast, Randall. I'm not going to be intimidated by you. I'm not going to be bullied by you. I mean, you're a weak guy, and that's why you attack people, because you're weak. And that's all I want. That's all I want from the start when I started covering your shows and saying if you just got creative and did your own thing and just leave everybody alone, kind of take your own advice when you said you were going to take the high road and not talk about anybody, but you continue to do it. And you do just punk stuff like this copyright that said basically that I played you saying, let me get to it so I can get it right, because I don't want to make it so it's wrong. So it's the video that I did on Yay to Turtle Boy for 75,000 plus raised. People showed up. And you said, because I did a little thing on you, and you're complaining and your negativity, and you said, talking, not in a song, I have no song of yours in the video, and you said, though, on the video that I was cutting up with you, said, excuse me, repeat that again. You know, it's your typical BS lines that you have. Excuse me, can you repeat that again? And then you're going to try to get a copyright strike on me for those words that you said, not in a song, not in one of your hit rap songs that you have, but you just mouthed that and said that same thing. I mean, that's a copyright? Come on. You got to get better than that, Randall. A lot better. And why would you worry about a channel that only had 224 people to start, or 214, I think, to start the day? Had 214 subscribers to start the day. And you were worried about that? You were worried about that channel when there's so many other ones out there that believe the same thing I do about your channel? I mean, come on. Seriously. Thanks for everybody that is coming in the chat here. Cassie G, you've been a beast too. Appreciate you. We have Wiggly What and Mary B. Of course, I asked Mary B to come on tonight, but she didn't have time for me. She had something else going on. So I guess she's reading some book from the 1500s. Another blood countess or something. So she decided that she couldn't come on tonight, but we'll get her on. We'll get her on here and see what she's got to say. Jordan, thanks for showing up. You've been really good since you found this channel, and I really appreciate you. And Danny does have the power. I mean, Danny asked, everybody to, basically told everybody, hey, we got to get them to 300 subs. And you did it. 300 subs. But we can't stop there. Because Randall's checking. Randall's checking to see how many subs I got. He's checking. I bet you he's checking it more than I do. And it's driving him crazy what happened today. Completely driving him crazy. Because he picked on a channel that had 214 subs. I would never think about doing that. Never. I mean, seriously. 214 subs, and he tried to start a fight. And I mean, if he wants that. I mean, I'm gonna find out. I wrote YouTube to check out what's going on, how those words can be a copyright. I have not heard back yet from them, so we'll see what happens with that. So I appreciate everybody though that's getting the word out. I mean, in the beginning, hippie chick that shared it in Discord, I believe. And it's grown from there. Mary B got on board, started talking about us. And all of us, I mean, just completely, I mean, Tracy, myself, and Mark are, happy that you guys all got in here and really helped us out. 5150 is big mad at the Rats tonight for some reason. Oh, boy. Really? Unbelievable. I didn't hear about that. I watched a little bit of the Rat House media tonight, and then I fell asleep and woke up, and I checked my subs just to see if we're getting close to 300 so I could thank everybody, and then looked at it and went, wow, we're at 300. We hit the plateau, that first plateau. And I'm happy about it. I really am. Because in the end, if it makes us stronger here, I mean, let's face it, this channel is to make people laugh. That's all it is. And I went after JFK because he went after me in a wheelchair. He said something to me on X about my wheelchair. And that's when it turned. And I thought, you're not going to bully me. You're just not going to. And, he was trying to be funny, just like that Jathan. Jathan was the same way. They attacked something that is just completely ridiculous. And so then the game was on with me and JFK. And I made sure that I was going to, I don't have to sit there and swear at him and use the F word and all that kind of stuff the way he does. I don't need that. But I'll go after him the way I go after him. I mean, I want to pick out the things that are funny. I mean, the way he back talks. I mean, he talks out of both sides of his mouth. He's going to let everybody alone, then all of a sudden the next night he's back at it. I know the Rat Chats watched a little bit of Crawford and LTL. I just couldn't stomach that. I was thinking about doing something on that tonight, and I just couldn't stomach to watch both of them. I mean, Crawford with that stupid laugh, that nervous, controlled laugh that he thinks is so. I mean, they are so cringe. They are so intimidated by everybody, and so they're attacking, and it's crazy. It is crazy. So, trying to read these chats and everything. I'm not going to put them all up on the screen because Danny yelled at me because I left a chat on the screen for too long, and he yelled at me. And so I'm not going to, I'll do some of the stuff here. Mary B, appreciate you. Like I said, from the start, Mary B got on board, hippie chick. I mean, there was Melmac, there was MJ, there was, there's just a bunch of them. I'm going to forget somebody, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to slight anybody. And but in the beginning, when I only had 10 people, it was like, boy, this is going well. But then it turned, and it was because of the Rat House media people that really turned it. And, it's crazy. So, new sub. All right, move over her hammy. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. And we need to get the word out. Let's get to 400. That, like I said, when I started this in the beginning, I just wanted 200 people. That's all, But at 200, then I get copyrighted, a strike, by a guy that's got, 16,000? Are those 16,000 that JFK has of subs, are those real or not? Because why would a guy with 16,000 subs come after me? Seriously. When he threw the first shot, he threw the first hand grenade at me on X and everything. But now he's going to come after me. I mean, it's just, is he afraid? What are you afraid of, JFK? And if you're coming after me because you want to dox me and all that, come on. I have nothing in my background that I'm embarrassed about. Well, maybe one thing. And we'll probably get to that down the road. But I mean, out of as long as I've lived, to only have one thing that you're embarrassed about? Come on, JFK. I'd never been in jail. One of my best friends is a captain of the sheriff's department. So right there tells you that I was probably never on the wrong side of the law too many times. Speeding, yeah, okay, whippy. So, but I sit here and I look at this copyright strike, and it's still, you can just tell that it was done because he wants to know more about me. So what does he think? He's going to come to Wisconsin and take pictures of me outside with my dog? Come on. You can come on in and have a ghost drink, all right? We'll talk. But, I mean, I just think it's funny when you think of it. So, Hippie Chick, great to see you here. Hippie Chick is the one that, put it in Discord. She was the first one that, really put it out there. And then Mary B got on board. It was just like a roller coaster just going then. It was just, it was getting speed. But Hippie Chick was the one that, I believe Hippie Chick, if it wasn't Hippie Chick, it was just a couple of people after that wrote me a message and said, where have you been? How come we don't know about you? And then all of a sudden they started just getting the word out. And, I was here, for 3-4 months. And then, like I said, I had been doing stuff with my buddy Tracy over on Facebook. We had started that Over the Line show, and we were doing that on Facebook. We didn't take it to YouTube. Now, once I got on YouTube, then all of a sudden I started putting some of the videos that I had and put them on YouTube. But so we were on Facebook, concentrating on Facebook for 3 years. And Tracy is just, he is unbelievable as a friend. And to have him jump on Saturday, while he was walking around Vegas to be on the Mei Lin's show, tells you what kind of guy he is. That tells you everything you want to know about him. So, and Hippie Chick. So that's where it came up. Wow. Okay. Well, then we got to make sure that it stays so people can find this show, find this channel. And like I said, it's going to be, now you put the pressure on me and the rest of us, Tracy and Mark, to have good shows. And, we're not going to live in that negativity. I'll pick on JFK. I'll definitely pick on him, but I'm not going to live in that negativity. And so if that's what he's expecting me to do, it's not going to happen. I'm going to rip on him. You darn right I am. Especially when he does things like he did yesterday with that interview. That was crazy. Not prepared. And that's what he calls content. And that's the thing. He cannot look in a mirror and actually sit there and say, okay, I'm going to blame everybody else because it's not me. Because his ego won't let him say it's him. And he needs to learn that, he's just got to get better in his content. People will leave him alone if he leaves people alone. And he comes up with better content. But that interview and giving that woman a place to talk was completely wrong. 2 people died in that crash. And she was sitting there saying that, oh, my daughter needed to get out, and saying that they took the memory of these 2 people. The 2 people were dead. I don't care what her daughter was doing. And I realized that, parents have to, protect their kids. But then she tells in the interview that, well, yeah, my daughter had some fisticuffs with teachers. Come on. So, I don't know. It's just it was a crazy thing that he allowed her to have that to tell everybody what she was trying to tell everybody. So what do we got going on here? Trying to keep up with this. So 5150, what's going on there, Mary B? I'm trying to catch up here. Cryford and Brian are asking for it also. They are completely goofy too. Save Lar, appreciate you sharing them and everything. And like I said, I'm waiting for YouTube to get back to me after I filled everything out. And yeah, he's gonna get me. He's not gonna get my telephone number, all right? Because what I did is, and I'm serious, I put Carl, my buddy Carl, the captain of the sheriff's department, I put his office number down. So when he calls, if he's going to try to call and talk to somebody, Carl will deal with it for me. And he'll be in the same person he was on the video, on a presentation this morning. And so if he wants to talk to somebody, that's the person he'll talk to and everything. So what is this one, Mary B? Mentioned me, you, and Danny looking for Dean. What's this about? No, I missed something here on this. Boy, it's so hard when maybe this is why I need the mod, so they can go through my whole chats here so I can keep up. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. It was easier to be a guest like I was for Maylin. It was easier to be that than running the controls. Because you get sidetracked with reading everything, and I hate the pausing. I hate to pause. I hate when there's nothing going on. When it's just sitting there, that whole pregnant pause, dead air, like we used to call it in radio. Yeah, I don't want dead air. But sometimes you just have to have it here when you're reading the chat and trying to pick this up and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. I'll share some of these, even though Danny's going to get crazy if I leave them on the screen. There's Mary B. And then Cassie G, me and Sparkly were threatened to dox. It's stupid. Oh, really? When did this happen, Cassie G? Unbelievable. And Hippie Chick heard I have a hard time talking and looking at chat at the same time. I know. It's tough. It really is. The dreaded dead air. It's horrible. And I learned that early on in my radio career. And, the big thing in the radio thing, when in doubt, you play music. Well, here you can't do that because you'll get striked for copyright. And it's crazy stuff. So you got it earlier? They were threatening to dox you? Unbelievable. What in the world is going on? So the interview was top notch. I mean, the questions were just on point. Sometimes in Iowa, you need to know how many street lights. I mean, that was the other thing. Talking about Iowa when it was in Ohio. I mean, something simple. Like saying the guy's name wrong. Rest in peace. I mean, what? And then to write in a so-called apology because he doesn't get names right. Why you don't get names right? Why you don't get names right is because you're an idiot. That's the truth about it all. You're just an idiot. And you're not prepared at all. So, trying to catch up here, trying to find out what the... Thanks, buddy. And the other Mary B today on her show, she mentioned me, and I started getting subs like crazy from her too. And so I appreciate that. That was really cool that she did that. And but what put us over the top was the chat rats again earlier tonight. I mean, it was just crazy to see how quick we started to gain momentum to 300. It was just crazy stuff. And you know what? What bothers me more than anything, watching JFK and show off, and this is something that I learned in radio a long time ago. You can't have crutch phrases. You can't use those crutch words. But after watching JFK, and I put a lot of hours, when I'm editing, his music out and some of the words and trying to shorten everything up, I watch a lot of it. Okay, and I have all of a sudden started to say, as much as Kevy Kev. And it's crazy. I've never used that crutch, ever. One of my biggest crutches that I ever used in radio was check it out. And I hated it. I would go back and listen to my tapes of my shows, and I'd hear 10 check it outs in a 4-hour period. It was like, what am I checking out? What am I telling them to check out? I mean, it's not like we had a website back then or anything else. Why am I using, and now I'm doing this you know. It's like, what in the world? Where did it come from? Hey, the other Mary B is in here. Yes, we can be friends, Mary B, no doubt. And I appreciate you. Today, it was unbelievable that you said that, you mentioned that, and I could see the subs starting to go like crazy. And like I said, then it topped off with the Rat Chats. And it's just, it's crazy what happened today. And I'm thankful. 300, right at 300 right now. And I don't want it to stop there. I really don't. You know, this was never a channel that I was going to be, you know, that I wanted to be monetized. I never even thought about that stuff. And the only reason why I put the Venmo stuff on the bottom here is because, you know, I sat there and I watched Twisted Tragedies, or whatever her name is, you know, grifting like crazy, you know, with the whole Amazon thing. And I thought, you know, all right, I'll put my Venmo down out there too and say, all right, I want a new microphone. I mean, I got 25 microphones, but I thought it would be funny to say I needed another microphone. And so, I mean, that's the only reason why I did that. And I'm sure that bothers JFK and everybody else that I did it. But this was never to be a big thing about monetize. It was just to do a show and to have fun. Tracy and I were just having, you know, we just wanted to have fun. We wanted to do it for ourselves just so that we could sit back and say, boy, we are a couple of idiots. And like I said, as we go, now that you found this channel, I'm telling you right now, you're going to end up loving Tracy Broussard, because the guy is completely just one of the best people you ever meet, number one. But he is funny as heck. And we'll try to do more. You know, before we were just doing Mondays. And I've talked to him about this, and we're going to try to do more. Him and I are going to try to do more. He's probably going to join Mark and I maybe sometimes, and we'll do that. But now in the summertime, now this starting in June, Tracy's schedule goes a little crazy. Now, this summer, it looks like it's just going to be a lot of one shows, and then they're off. But the one shows are going to be, you know, from the West Coast to the East Coast to Midwest. So they're going to be, you know, some traveling in there. So it's going to be tough. And I try to not bother him when he's working. Now, yesterday, he had called me in the morning, and he said, what are you doing? And I told him I was going on Maylen, his show and all that. And he said, oh, he goes, well, can I come too? And so I said, yeah, come on. So I sent him the link, and he goes, well, I'm going to pop on. He goes, I won't pop on for a long time because I'm getting ready to go to No Doubt and all that kind of stuff. And I said, yeah, whatever you want to do. So he came on, and it wasn't me that said, hey, you got to get on here. And it was just him saying, hey, I want to do it. And that's the way he is. He's just, and right away, and if you watch that show with Maylin, typical Tracy. As soon as he heard Maylin say, my youngest son is a drummer too, Tracy said, oh, I'll send him some sticks. And that's typical Tracy. He has sent so many people sticks and drum heads, the people that he's met through me, just so they could hang them on their walls, you know. And usually, you know, not a lot of times, but usually, I mean, a good 96% of the time, he gets Blake Shelton to sign the drum head. So you get a Blake Shelton signed drum head that you can hang on your wall. And that's, I mean, that's pretty cool stuff to get that. And, you know, people have already, you know, asked, well, how does a guy in Wisconsin meet a guy in Louisiana that's living in Nashville and drumming for Blake Shelton? Well, when I first met Tracy, he was drumming actually for Jamie O'Neill, country star. And what had happened is I had moved back from the Mid-South to my hometown, and my mom had passed away, and people were saying, you know, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. And then some people said, well, you should do something. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll have a show, a country show. And I'll bring up some acts that I know that I've met through my career, you know, to my hometown. And I remember meeting this goofy guy in Nashville, and didn't have a hit yet. He didn't have a hit. Austin, the song Austin, if you don't know anything about Blake Shelton, go listen to the song Austin. That was his first number one hit. And that song was not released yet when I met Blake Shelton. And he had asked me what station I was at. I told him. And he said, well, you know, one day you're going to be playing my music. And I said, yeah. And he goes, if you add any of my songs, I promise you, I'll do you a favor back. And I said, all right. So, and I heard that Austin, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty nice song. I mean, I'm not much into these girly songs, all right? These love ballads. I'm not much into that. And even though I did write one for Nan, but I'm not really into that. But listened to Austin, and I thought, well, yeah, that needs to be added to the station. So we added it. And then it was a couple of years later, like I said, I moved back to my area in Wisconsin, and I was thinking about doing a show, a country act, bring him up here. And so I thought about that guy, that goofy guy I met. And so I contacted his booking agency, and I said, I want to see if Blake Shelton would do a show for me. And they said, well, Blake's really busy now. He's got a #1 hit. He's really busy, and, his pay went up a little bit and all that kind of stuff. They were giving me all negatives on the phone. I said, well, I met him, and he had told me if I ever did anything where I needed him, he would come. And they said, well, people say that. And it was just a negative. And I said, well, just get a hold of him. See if he'll, contact me. And they went and they contacted him, and he contacted me himself. And he said, what do you need? And then he told me, he said, well, I'm going to be in Iowa, I'm going to be in Illinois, I'm going to be in Minnesota. If you want to take a day in between there where we're out on the road and we're close within 6-8 hours, I'll do it for this amount of money. And it was a lot less than what the booking agency told me. I'll just tell you that. And I took a date in between when he was in Illinois and Minnesota. And I brought him up here to Wisconsin. He played the show. Didn't do real well on that first show. Didn't do well at all. We had maybe, 1,000 people, maybe a little bit more. And I met Tracy for the first time. And the reason how I met Tracy is I had read in his little Wikipedia thing at the time that he was a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. Huge. And I had a friend that he grew up in the area here. And he played football and was a star football player at the high school that I graduated from. I knew his parents, longtime friends, and became friends with the kid. Well, the kid ends up going to the University of Wisconsin, becomes the starting center for the Wisconsin football team, and then gets picked in the 2003 draft, number 37, and he goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Can you believe it? So at the show, the Blake Shelton show that summer, now he got picked in April of that year, 2003, and then in July, I did the show in 2013 with Blake, and I got my friend, the football player, to come to the show. Actually, my friend, the football player, helped finance the show, and. So we got Blake up here, and then I hooked Tracy up with my friend from the Dallas Cowboys, and that's where I pick on Tracy about, because Tracy had went to a couple of games with my friend and was a guest at the football games of the Cowboys. And at the time that was going on, when he first went to those games, that first year, 2003, 2004, he would stay at my buddy's house. My buddy had a house. He bought a house in Dallas. And my buddy's roommate at that time for the first year and a half or 2 years, he was rooming with Tony Romo, the great quarterback from the Dallas Cowboys. So that's why I pick on Tracy, that I got him to sleep in Tony Romo's bed, because he stayed over at my buddy's house. Tony wasn't there, and he slept in Tony's bed. So him and my friend became really good friends. Tracy did. And Tracy never forgot that. I mean, that's basically what happened. That's when we really grew closer, because Tracy's loyalty is incredible. And everybody thinks that I am the one that, created the friendship. It's not. I mean, Tracy, if I don't call him in a week and a half, he's on the phone. He's texting. He's wondering what I'm up to. So he's the one that keeps the friendship going. And so that's what happened with Blake Shelton. So then 2 years after, I was at a show, and I got to tell you this, from 2003, even though I paid him to come up here, Blake, From 2003 to this day, I've never had to pay for a ticket to go see Blake Shelton. And I've went to a lot of shows. Blake Shelton, in that beginning, he opened up for every big artist you can think of. George Strait, Toby Keith, Rascal Flatts. I mean, everybody that he opened up. Jason Aldean was on that Rascal Flatts tour. And every show that he did with somebody else, Reba McEntire, I got the chance. If they came in the Midwest, Tracy was calling, hey, you want to go to the show? Want to come to the show? And so I went to the show. And I've never had to pay for a ticket because of the friendship that I made with those guys. And that's incredible when you think of it, because usually on their way to the top, they forget, right? They forget about the people sometimes. In rock music, I did a lot of top 40 back in the day in my radio career and met a lot of good people, helped a lot of people. But they forgot. That group, that genre of music is a very forgetful genre. But the country people are not. They're legit. And so then 2000, tell you the quick story, then 2005, 2 years after, I'm out in Minneapolis, actually St. Paul, at the State Fair, Minnesota State Fair. Blake is headlining. And so I'm out there, and they're playing at the State Fair in Minnesota. Then they have an off day the next day, and then they're in like North Dakota the third day. So they're staying overnight on the day that they're playing. They're staying overnight in Minneapolis, and then they're staying overnight again before they head out the third day to North Dakota. So I decided to go out there and then hang out too at the hotel and all that. So the first day, that night after being out all night, basically, I got up early, like I usually do, and I was down getting coffee in the hotel, and all of a sudden Blake walked down the stairs, and he said, "What are you doing?" And so he got his coffee, he come over, and he sat next to me, and he said, I swear to you, this is what he said. He looked at me, he goes, "Jeff, when was I in that godforsaken town that you grew up in? When was the last time I was in there?" And I said it was 2003. This is 2005, summer of 2005, I believe, or 6 maybe. No, it was 2005 because I put him on I brought him back in 2006. So it was about September of 2005. And I believe that time that they were out in Minneapolis or St. Paul, I believe there was a big hurricane in the south in September of 2005. I don't know which one it was, but I know it was getting close to Tracy Broussard's hometown in Louisiana. And I remember us watching it in the hotel room, all the stuff that was going on. But then Blake asked me, when was the last time? And I told him it was 2003. And he said, you didn't make any money at that show at all. And I said, no. But I said it was a good show and everything. He said, well, what do you think about doing another one? I said, well, yeah, we can. So I changed the venue and we did another one. And that one did better. There was about 9,000, almost 10,000 people showed up. And that's when he came off the stage. I'll never forget it. He came off the stage, and he grabbed me by my cheeks, on my face. He looked at me, and he goes, "Now you got your fucking show." And I did. I had my show, the one that I wanted to have from the beginning. And it was cool. And then, like I said, after that, telling you about the football player that Tracy met through me that played with the Dallas Cowboys. For years, he had told me, it was kind of funny. He would come to me and he'd say, this is before he became a NFL football player. He'd always say, one day when I make some money, Jeff, I'm going to buy you a radio station so you can run it. And I'm going to buy it in our hometown. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. For years, we'd sit and laugh about that. Well, he goes and he plays with the Cowboys, and he goes for his second contract, so he becomes a free agent, and he gets signed by the Arizona Cardinals. And contract is for like almost $20 million. And he calls me up and he goes, remember that radio station I was talking about? I said, yeah. And he goes, well, I think I bought it. I said, what? He goes, yeah, I think I bought it. And I said, where? And he goes, right in our hometown. He goes, you're going to run it. And I said, oh, the people around here are not going to like that in radio. He goes, yeah, I know. He said, we won't put your name involved with it right away, though, all right? We'll let that be a shock at the end. So he did everything. And it was kind of funny because I brought in an old boss of mine from Little Rock, Arkansas that sealed the deal. He come up here. He did all the dealing, said it was going to be him buying it. And so we kept my name out of it. And so when we got it, of course, then I showed up. And the other radio stations in town were, all of a sudden they started calling me Big City. That I was going to bring in these big city ideas. And the only thing I did is I said, if we can't have a news department, a good news department, then we're not going to do news. We're going to be a fun radio station. When people turn us on, it's going to be fun. And that's what we did. And we mentioned, stuff that was, important that was going on around locally, but we just didn't do news. It wasn't our strong point. I wasn't a news guy. People that I hired wasn't a news guy. They weren't news guys. So ran that for 7 years, and then I got sick and got really sick. And so the partner decided that, hey, I can't do this alone. And we never, and that was my fault. We never had a backup plan. And the backup plan should have been that we should have hired somebody that could have taken over if something like that happened to me. And we never planned for that. And so I got sick, had a battle with a bug called, it was a flesh-eating bug. And it was due to because I had infection problems because of a needle that was left in from a previous surgery that caused a bone infection called osteomyelitis. So I ended up it just got worn down from working too much. Everybody told me that, it wasn't a sprint. It was, a mile run, but I was working a lot. And I did the morning show, and it was crazy time. But I got a chance to use everything that I learned in radio, and I brought it back to my hometown. And one of the greatest things that I ever did was that, because I would go around town, just take rides around town. It's a big county that I live in, and I would take, rides around the county. In every place, gas stations, restaurants, every place that I would go in, nobody knew who I was. I mean, some did because I grew up here, but I'd go in these places and they were blaring the radio station. And I called it the Big Dog. It was the Big Dog radio station. And they were just blaring it. And we played hot country music. And it was fun. And we picked on people. And I have a video. I got mad at the city one time because they were having the St. Patrick's Day's parade on a Wednesday or on a Saturday, and St. Patrick's Day was on a Wednesday or something. And I said, just have it on the day that St. Patrick's is. And so what I did is I put it together, and I did the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade. And it was like a half a block. But we had so many people involved. We had the fire department, we had the police, we had businesses. And it was so many people. It was just a half a block long. We did it basically a half a block around our only Irish pub in the city I live in. And it was hilarious. And people came out to watch. And I was threatened when I put it together. They said, you can't do this. You got to have the mayor sign something to say that you can do this. And so I had read in the bylaws of the city that if you got the mayor involved where he walked with you in the parade, you didn't need that. So I contacted the mayor, who I knew, and I said, hey, will you come and do this? And he said, absolutely. And so we had our parade. And that did a lot. It was the shortest parade. I'm not kidding you. We started in front of the building of the Irish pub. We went through his parking lot, half a block down, half a block around, and came back. And we had more people lined up in the parade than what the half a block could handle. And And it was all because of, like I said, we started that station because of that NFL superstar. His name, you can look him up. Dallas Cowboys 2003 draft, I believe number 37. He's either number 37, number 38. Bill Parcells was the coach at that time, but the football player's name was Al Johnson. And if you look up Al Johnson Broadcasting, you can find out everything about him. But Al Johnson was the center. Then he went on to play with the Arizona Cardinals, and then he got hurt. The worst thing he could do, he got hurt, ripped up his knee. And then he jumped around a little bit. He actually played. He didn't play, but he actually went to the New England Patriots. For all you East Coast people, he went to the New England Patriots, and the knee just never could hold up. Then he ended up in Miami for a little bit, but he never played for those. But he was actually on their team. But basically did that, I think, to get his time in the NFL so that he could get on that retirement plan and all that. So in the end, as bad as Bill Parcells was to a lot of people, or what they thought Bill Parcells was, he treated my buddy really well for him to get his time in the NFL. Because he took the people that were out in New England, you had Coach Bill out there that, brought him in, and then he went down to Miami, where Parcells was like the vice president or president of football at the time. So, but that's how Tracy basically became, really good friends, is because his love for the Dallas Cowboys, and my friend ended up playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And now that friend is actually the offensive line coach. Last time I looked, we haven't talked in a while, but the last time I looked, he was last time I talked to him, he was the offensive line coach for the Temple Owls out in Philadelphia. And that's where he's been out there. One of the smartest guys. I mean, all the coaches that he played for said that he was the smartest football player, smartest football IQ at center that they ever had. And I mean, his football knowledge was unbelievable. So I'm glad that he's paying it back, to paying it forward to the young kids that are coming out of Temple. And like I said, they're going to learn a lot. And what was really cool, because my friend grew up a Packer fan, of course. And after he started playing for the Cowboys, he got a chance to come back and play at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. And what a day that was. Everybody came out of the woodwork that even, he didn't know, that wanted to, go to the game and all that kind of stuff. And I was at the game and kind of hung out with him, and he was having a heck of a time. And it was kind of funny because I had said something to his mom at the time about, he's really feeling this or really feeling that. She goes, "Oh, yeah, did you talk to him?" I said, "No, I was texting him." She goes, "When?" And I said, "Just now." I said, "I was texting him." She goes, "Why, he's in the locker room?" And I said, "Yeah." "And he's answering you?" And I said, "Yeah." And she thought that was just crazy. But that was the relationship him and I had, too. It was just off the wall and a lot of fun. And we had some good times with that radio station. There's no doubt about that. Because he came back then and worked the radio station with me. But like I said, we never had a plan for the backup plan if something happened to me. So we ended up selling. And one of the local broadcasters here ended up buying the station. And one of the local broadcasters that had a problem with me, of course. And so he switched to format because he didn't want anything that resembled anything that I did. And it's kind of funny because the country station was really going well. So there's a little bit more stories about what's going on in it, what happened. But yeah, then Blake Shelton came back that second time and had a great show. And then after that, I mean, the climb was on for Blake. I mean, we ended up playing every Blake Shelton song on our station, even the songs that nobody ever heard. And I had a big-time consultant that was consulting our station, little station here in my little community. The consultant was the number one consultant in the land, and the consultant that got me a lot of jobs in my radio days. And I had asked her to come on board, and she said, absolutely. And she came on board, gave us made us stars of the radio station. I mean, because we were legitimate because of her. And we were well-liked in Nashville by the record labels. And, and all of a sudden she would get on the phone with me and she goes, "Why are we playing so many Blake Shelton songs?" You got to stop. That guy's not going to be anything but a B act. And I said, well, have you ever been to one of his shows? And she goes, no. I said, go to one of his shows. And you tell me that that's a B act. And so she went to his show, and she come back, and she called me, and she goes, all right, you're right. You're right. He's going to be a star. You know, the guy's funny. He's got everything. And he ended up blowing up. You know, he got The Voice a little bit after it. I think that was 2008, 9, right around in there. I mean, it was right after that song, Home. It was the Michael Bublé song that he did with his then wife, Miranda Lambert. And he blew up after that, and then The Voice just took him to a whole new level. But what I, basically said, he's never forgot me. He sees me, he's just as goofy as ever. I went to a sound check not too long ago when they were close to me, and he was doing a sound check, and he started screaming my name in the microphone and acting like an idiot. And so, I mean, he's a good guy, loyal guy. And so now that would be something if we could ever get him on, but that'll probably never happen. He's just too big. And if he did that, then there'd be, 2,000 other people that would be asking him to do the same thing. So, but don't worry. I'm going to put it in his ear, though. When I see him in July, well, don't you worry. I will be saying something to him. So, again, I just wanted, like I said, to come on here and say thank you. And got into rambling about the Blake and the Tracy and all that. But like I said, as we go, you get a chance to meet Tracy and hear him and laugh with him. He's an incredible person, and you'll get a kick out of him. But I thank you. 300 subs in a very short time too. So let's get the 400. Let's see what happens from YouTube if they answer me or if I get that video back, because they did take it down. And let's see if I can get it back and see what happens from that. I suspect that, like I said in the beginning, that it was just a ploy to get my information. They were going to do what they did to Ray from Dallas, and they were going to go after me. And I say, bring it on. Let's go. I'll dance with you. We'll see what happens. And but I don't think he's going to want to know at the end what happens, because I will stay on him. JFK means nothing to me. And he showed me he's a punk. That's what he showed me today. He was a punk. So catch us. Mark is in Seattle for this week. So I don't know when I'll get back on. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. And then Mark will be back the week after. Tracy's going home tonight, I believe, or at least tomorrow morning. So he is done in Vegas. So maybe I can get Tracy on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday after he settles back in at home. See if he wants to come on for a little bit. Maybe do a show with him. And I'll let everybody know. I'll get something ready if that happens. I'll let you know in time so you can come and join us. And please just keep getting the word out, all right? Please get the word out. And let's get to 400, all right? I guess the next plateau would be 500. I don't know what happens with 500. I got to read what happens with 500. Of course, 1,000, the 1,000 plateau is the monetizing, I guess. And like I said, that doesn't mean anything to me. And not that, I mean, it'd be nice to have a couple of bucks, don't get me wrong. But it really doesn't, that's not why I started this channel. So, and the one thing I'll leave, though, because I thought this was the funniest thing, the JFK interview with Natalie Sherilla, they talked about the problem with POTS, P-O-T-S, POTS. Well, wouldn't you know it, and I don't know much about this person because I really didn't watch her. My niece Jennifer is the one that turned me on to her, this Twisted or Untwisted Tragedies, whatever her name is. But Twisted, got on today, Sunday. I guess we're already into Monday. But got on Sunday and said that she's got POTS now. And it really happened. Somebody on X told me that she actually said that she's got POTS. Wouldn't you know it? She got shot after she heard about Kelsey Fitzsimmons. She's been a movie star, or she missed her chance at a movie star or something, actor. And then she was, makeup for the stars. She's smarter than all lawyers on YouTube. That's what she says. And now she heard about POTS, and now she's got POTS too. She announced today she's got POTS. Her POTS acts up in the sun or something, I guess. I don't know. I didn't go watch it yet. I'm going to go watch it, and of course I'm going to bring it up. But so it's just funny that Twisted Tragedies, everything she does, all of her shows is about Turtle Boy, and then she goes and brings Nan on. I guess that's why I got to watch it. She brought Nan on Sunday, and Nan all of a sudden is her. Nan's just looking for a place where she can go on and talk, because there's another ego that can't be stopped, and another one that says, oh, she's not bothered by anything. No. But then she goes after the little people that don't like her. And it's like, what are you doing? So, I still would like to know where she graduated law school. I know she's a lawyer. I know she works for doctors and hospitals and that kind of stuff. I don't know what she does for them. I don't know how hard that kind of lawyering is. So it'd be nice to find out. But yeah, we all know, and this is true, Rose, we all know that Twisted is using her for money. I mean, just like JFK. But do you notice that when she goes on JFK now, she's not giving the $4.99s. And she's not giving the $4.99s to Brian or Kryford either. So it's completely funny that it's happening. Yeah. You're right, Blessed. That's true. She is just I would have never believed that she would have come up with the POTS thing. I would have never believed that. But she did. She did. As soon as, something else comes up. That's why I'm going to come up with some kind of just crazy disease. And we'll see if she has the same thing. I don't even know what I can come up with, but I got to come up with something and say it. And see if she takes the bait and runs with it, that she has it too. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Been on now for almost an hour, but I was just going to come on and say thank you. And like I said, that's all I have for everybody is just a big old thank you. 300 subs. Never thought I would get there. 200 subs was the goal when we started, and we got there. But Danny said then, we got to get you to 300. And you guys all reacted and got on board and got me to 300, got the whole channel to 300. And like I said in the beginning, Tracy and Mark are very happy about it too. I talked both of them in just to do this as fun. And good old Randall is not going to take our fun away. It's just not going to happen at all. And he can try. He can do it. He can try. But he's not going to ruin our fun on this channel. He's just not going to. And Jay Bro, if you're in part of this and you're trying to find out where I live and all that kind of stuff, and you're going to get on the phone to me and say, "Hey, stop picking on us." If you want to do that, Jay Bro, that's fine. Come on. If you want to take pictures of me outside and all that with my dog, I'm telling you right now, my 11-pound dog, not going to like it. He's a killer. He's 11 pounds, but he thinks he's a 100-pound German Shepherd. I'll tell you that right now. And he doesn't quiet down. And he'll continue. He's kind of like me. You try to put a muzzle on me, I'm going to get louder. And I'm going to. But like I said, I want to see what YouTube says to me first. And see what, because I don't want another strike. And I know they're going to continue to strike me. And like I said, why he goes after a small channel, who knows? It's just that I did something to piss him off. I hit him somewhere where, I don't know where I hit him, but I hit him somewhere where he didn't like. And I'm sure he's in here. Because he had a couple of people, that, like that Making Changes, I think was one. That's one of the people that come from his channel. So they were in here watching. And I'm sure they're watching. And I'm sure they'll rewatch. And I don't know, maybe I said one of his phrases and he's probably going to strike me again. YouTube needs to get better on that. I'm going to tell you right now. YouTube's got to do something to stop these people from doing that. Because you can't do a phrase. You can't take 4 words and say, oh, I own them, I copyrighted them. I mean, I understand if you're going to read a book, you copyright the book, but you can't copyright 4 words or whatever they were. Let's see what they were. Let's count them again. So it's basically, excuse me, repeat that again. So that's 5 words. 5 words. And that's what he copyrighted. And it was him saying it. I mean, I was doing this video and he said that. He goes, excuse me? And you all know how he does it. He gets right up by the camera, and he goes, excuse me, repeat that again. And that's what it was. And that's what he got a strike on me for, because I played that. It was no music. There was no music in the video. None. I had cut all that out. So he, like I said, he's picking a fight that I don't think he's going to win. I think it could hurt him in the end, maybe, if YouTube starts doing their jobs and takes care of channels like that just try to dox you, try to get your information so that they can, go after you in every mean way that they can. Now, you could say that I'm doing a mean thing, too, by picking on him. Yeah, I guess. But like I said, he threw the first stone when he attacked me in my wheelchair on X. So the gloves came off at that time. And maybe I'm a small person for doing that. So be it. But I'm not going to let him bully me. That's the way I look at it. He's not going to bully me. He's not going to intimidate me. He's not going to be telling me the story, oh, I got somebody in Milwaukee. All right, fine. I got somebody in Milwaukee too. Come on. Come on up here where I'm at. He's not going to be able to do that to me like he did to the Glare, take pictures of the Glare walking his dog or walking across a park. I mean, who does that stuff? And it's all about intimidation. That's all it is. That's all he was trying to do. That's in his head. That's how he figures he can, he can do people. Well, you can't do that. And so, again, I appreciate everybody checking this out. We had a couple of people in here, and I appreciate that. And like I said, we'll try to get back on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday and do a show. I'll try to corral Tracy into doing something with me. And going forward, I'd like to do 2 or 3 shows a week. I really would. And like I said, when I did that thing with Maylin, I really liked that. For the simple fact is that I didn't have to watch everything. I could just do my thing, and somebody else had to worry about the chat and all that kind of stuff. So I really like that kind of stuff too. So again, thanks. Have yourself a great Monday, Memorial Day. Please be safe. Please be safe. Honor the people that give us the right, that First Amendment right. Say thank you to all of our military people, all of our cops, our good cops, all right? Our good cops. Say thank you to them and appreciate everything that they've done for us. And I'll see you Tuesday or Wednesday probably, all right? So have a safe day. Have a blessed day. We'll talk soon. Thanks so much for everything. And I truly mean that, all right? Cue the music.
In the hum of the studio where the levels run high, there's a voice cutting through like a lightning sky. At Mastock Media, he's holding the throne. The audio wizard, his name Jeff Stone. He's taking names while the cameras roll, with a sarcastic grin and a heart of gold. Changing the game one upload at a time, making the hustle like a victimless crime. So come join the flock, don't you stay behind. Leave the boring old world in the daily grind, with a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's the king of the mic, the influence of soul, keeping us steady and taking control. chick I'm making a hit. Dusty and Jan are the brains of the crew, but there's plenty of room in the Raptors for you. Don't let the smart kids have all of the fun. The master revolution has only begun. He'll roast you a little, then lift you back up. Pouring pure chaos in a coffee cup. So come join the flock. Don't you stay behind. Leave a boring old world in the daily grind. With a laugh and a thought to get you through. Jeff's got a brand new perspective for you. He's a king of the mind, the influence of soul, keeping us steady and taking control. It's more than a channel, it's a state of mind, where the jokes are fast and the truth's easy to find. From the audio board to the YouTube screen, the funniest disruptors you've ever seen. Someone's on the edge making the call. Master of media standing 10 feet tall. Stop being a stranger, get in on the play. Jeff Stone's gonna help you survive the day. You come join the fly. Come join the fly. Thank you, hippie chick, for getting the channel out. Hey, come join the fly. And that's Talk Media. Jeff is ready to ride.